G'day! Did you know that over 20% of people that make over $100,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck? How is that even possible? Well, let's go and check it out and see exactly what we can do to avoid being in that situation. Hey, my name's Darnell. I've spent years, like most people, I've just worked average jobs, I've saved money, and I've invested. And I also spent 15 years in the Navy in special operations, which helped tons because it gave me a lot of discipline, long work hours, and low expenses. So at 44, I was able to leave the military and pretty much retire. And now I just work for home on projects that I like and manage my investments. So I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I think we all do. I didn't have the internet and all these wonderful things that are able to help our education and people that were out there sharing their information. I had to learn the hard way. So I'm going to take all that information that I learned and use it to help you. So let's start this off on a fun note. What are you going to do with your first million? Is it going to be those dreams that you have that I think most people have? Like, once I become a millionaire, I'll pay for my own house. I'll go buy a Lamborghini. I'll take any vacation I want to, wherever I want to go. Hey, maybe it's more practical things. I mean, imagine how awesome it would be to have the ability to be free and to be able to help your family out, help your parents out, help your brother or sister out if they needed any sort of money or assistance when something went wrong. Even using the knowledge you're going to learn from here and applying it, and then being able to help them out and teach them that. All right, so if you haven't watched last week, step one is super important. Go back and watch that, because if you don't have that step set, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to apply any of the other tactics and techniques, and you're not going to get anywhere. So, hey, don't waste your time. Get step one done. Get it done right. So, what is step two to millions? Before we get into that, let's go back to the beginning. Why in the world would 20% or more of people that make $100,000 a year be living paycheck to paycheck? Is that really where you'd want to be, making that much money? We know from experience, living paycheck to paycheck is dangerous. I mean, if something happens to your car, if you lose your job, if a worldwide pandemic comes up and things just go bonkers, like, you could be in serious trouble really fast. And nobody wants to be there. I don't want you to be there. I remember how it was when I was super young and what it took for me. And I hated that. That's why I got out of it. So step two, reduce your expenses. That's why people that are making over $100,000 a year are broke. Because they make more money, they spend more money. They make more money, they spend more money. Don't ever be there. When I was in the Navy, one of the things I taught all of the guys that were at EOD school with me was this. Every time you get an additional raise, take all of that money and blow it. No, just kidding, right? That doesn't make any sense. Take half of that money and save it. You didn't know you were getting it anyways. Now you have this bonus. So if you get this extra pay, you get a bonus, whatever it is, take half of it, put it into an investment. Save it for the next thing. So I wish I knew reduce expenses earlier. I was like a lotto winner often, right? You get the pay, you have a good day. I mean, earlier when I used to bartend and stuff like that, some days you'd be making hundreds of dollars, some days you'd make 100. But then what would I do? Just because I made more didn't mean I saved more. It was a terrible pattern that I was in, and I had to learn to get out of it. So in a minute here, I'm going to cover 5 big steps that you can use to reducing your expenses. Having my mentality and being a high performer and being driven and wanting to do things the best that I can and getting in this tough, laser-focused mentality, I, at the time, reduced my expenses way too much, I think. But it worked for me. So what I did was I got a membership to a gym, I got 2 jobs, and I lived out of my car. So I had no expenses. I'd go surfing in the morning or afternoon. I would shower at the gym or at the beach. I would work usually my first cooking job from 6 in the morning till about 1 in the afternoon. And then my second cooking job usually from like 3 till 10 at night. And that's what I did all the time. So I didn't have any expenses, and I was able to save a bunch of money that was a good seed for me being able to invest in real estate. But most people aren't like that. This is mostly for driven high performers, and I hope that you, wherever you are, do take these steps and take them big. So step 1, budget. See, there's something you're going to learn about money. Money loves to be counted. And if you don't count it, that money's going to go away. It's going to run away. If you don't have some sort of budget and know where your money's going, it's going to run away, isn't it? That's what happened to me. I didn't have any budgets. Poof. I didn't have any money. I wasn't counting my money. I wasn't managing my money and watching it. So with budgets, as in everything else, while the $1 million or more is a goal to keep adding millions in there, I don't think we should have things in our life that are overly complicated. Simple steps so that you can focus on whatever your primary thing is. So in budgeting, simple step: 50%, 25%, 25, 50, 25, 25. 50% of your money is going to go to your needs. What are your needs? I think we all know that. House, car, clothing, food, electricity, internet, not cable. All right. 25% to wants. You want your Starbucks Frappuccino. You want to go out to dinner with a friend. You want something. It goes in there. And then that other 25% is into savings. That's going to be used later for investments. And those investments are going to fuel your freedom. They're going to fuel that Ferrari, that Lambo, buying that house, helping your church, helping your mom, helping your parents. Those are the things that we look for to actually become free, to become wealthy. All right, so can you do that? How can you do that? There's several ways, and I think it's easy. Just take your income and write it all down right there. If you're making $1,000 a paycheck, $2,000, $3,000, then simply divide it. $3,000 a paycheck is $1,500 towards needs, $750 towards savings, $750 a month toward wants. Keep moving. Step 2. So cooking at home, it does 2 things. 1, it saves on your budget, and 2, making wise decisions, it's going to save on your health and everything else. And your health is going to be the foundation to enjoy all of these riches that you're going to have. Also, when you're cooking at home, you're taking more time to do something. And using that time there, you won't miss all those other things. You won't be spending money on other things you don't need to spend money on. 3 is going to be read more books. Once again, if you're reading more books, you're not going to be spending time on things you don't need to spend time on. I read a lot of books growing up, and I still read a lot of books. Growing up, I read a lot of books, and that's how I learned. I learned a lot of this investing and mindset and everything like that. Keep reading books on investing. Keep reading books on mindset, and keep studying in your primary goal, because then you're going to increase your income. Accountability. Go partner with somebody. Partner with another high performer who's driven that you know in your life. Because when you can partner with another high performance person, the team dynamic becomes incredible. You can make it a competition. Most of my great workouts when I was in the Special Forces community were because we had another partner, and it was a competition, and we were going to drive each other to our best. When you look at people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who worked out and became an incredible performer, there was 3 or 4 of them in the gym. They were all working out together, pushing each other, and growing so much further. Use a team as a high performer to keep accountability going. And 5, cut out subscriptions. You don't need them. They're extras right now. And cutting out those extras, even for this first year or 6 months, is going to save you tons. It's going to allow you to jumpstart so much further. When we cut out the extras at our home of Hulu subscriptions, Netflix, I mean, why did we need to? We didn't. But I saved over $100 a month. Fun case studies, right? What's $100 a month? I know in most people you could probably save $100 or $200 a month. All right, $100, $200 a month. So $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year. Invested at a rate of return of 8%, that comes out to around $20,000 over 10 years. Now, $20,000 may sound like a lot. It may not sound like a lot, but let's put this into perspective. If you save $200 a month, you save $40,000 in 10 years, that would be a down payment on a rental property like one of the rental properties I have. So you can buy a $200,000 rental property. That $200,000 rental property is going to bring you rents of $3,000 to $3,600 a month. Oh, so if you're paying $2,000 in a mortgage, that's $1,600 a month you're now making for doing nothing, for having a rental property, for saving $200 a month for 10 years. But it's going to be faster than that because that's only a small $200. Go back to step one in the budgeting where you're saving 25% of your income. That means that you, in a decade, you can buy 4 or 5 of those properties. Now where are you? Now you have rental properties that are paying you $6,000, $8,000 a month. Sacrifice a little bit now. Use those small sacrifices in the following steps, which is where we're going to teach you how to save and invest wisely and how to increase your income. And when you save that extra $100 a month, think about those goals we talked about at the beginning. Think about being able to buy your new phone every year whenever you want to buy a new phone, being able to afford helping your friends, being able to not have a mortgage because you paid your house off. Can you imagine the freedom that gives you? I'll tell you what, it's amazing to not have a mortgage on your primary property. You own it. You still have to pay property taxes, but that's a minor expense compared. And that frees up so much more money to do all these things you want to do, to take those vacations that you want to take, to build those memories with your family, to help your church, help your charities. Yeah, it's all so amazing. So I would do it. I did it. And it's awesome. I love it. I know you can get there. It's super important in the reducing expenses and having goals to set up rewards. This could be a whole nother conversation, but set up rewards, set a goal, and go ahead. Let us know that goal in the comments. And then take that goal and put it at your workplace where you can see it. Take that goal and put it somewhere where you're going to be reviewing it. When you meet that goal on a monthly basis, pick something that is that's special to you. Me personally, I like things like steak. So I will go and use that expense time to have a steak dinner with a business partner or somebody I'm consulting with or somebody else, because then it's also tax deductible. So I get a reward and I get to keep moving forward. Do a spa day. Ladies, do nails, do haircuts, do whatever it is, do golf, do something that's going to make you happy. All right, and a little caution on this in reducing budget. I call it the depression mindset. When you have all these people talking about reducing your expenses, reduce, save, the problem I think with that is that it's a depression mindset. And in the depression mindset, there wasn't enough. People didn't have enough. There was money, job issues, kind of some of the things that we're going through right here that you saw at the beginning of the pandemic, where it's like food's running out, things are running out. And when you continually try to reduce to zero, I believe it brings in this mindset where you don't have an abundance and a growth mindset. So know that it's a tool to reduce your expenses and get rid of things that you don't need so that you can grow, so that you have more to invest and more to grow. You got to keep in an abundance and growth mindset and just know there is enough for everybody out there. There's plenty. We can all have a great life. All right. Thank you so much for coming. Comment on the one step that's going to make the biggest difference in your life. Make sure you add your goals in there. Make sure those goals get written down and they're placed somewhere where you can see them all the time. God bless. God loves you. I love you. Thank you so much for coming. And check out the videos that they're going to show you for more information and learning. Take care. Darnell, out.